the a link to the for the YouTube later, just for anybody that missed. But I want to be respectful of all your guys' time. Can I get a volunteer to open us up in order of prayer, please?
Sure, I will, Josh.
Thank you.
Father, tonight as we gather, I just pray that our time would be productive, that the work that's gone into planning would just come to fruition, and all the trailmen and leaders that are coming would be blessed by the fellowship. And we just ask that you would use us to continue to grow this program here in Southern California. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Okay, can everybody see my screen?
Yeah.
All right.
Yep, believe so.
All right, so I just wanted to go over just a couple bullet points to make sure everybody was on the same page. I don't want to bore everybody with a bunch of stuff, but I want to make sure some of the big highlights are taken care of, and then figured we'd have the tail end for any ancillary questions that might be coming from the individual troops, and that could benefit the entire group. So. So basically, I'm breaking this down into two sections, logistics. So the first thing, we have a request from our registrar, Jill Storm, who is handling all the paperwork for us. So this is kind of going to be the way it works upon check-in. We're gonna ask one adult with all the paperwork will check in the actual trailman. While that one adult, whoever you guys want to do, is doing that, the rest of the troop is going to unload the equipment. We're going to have a pre-stage area. Now, we've been, at this point, we will not be able to drive onto the actual campground area for you guys to be able to unload right at your campsite, similar to what we did last year. You are gonna need to hoof some of your equipment over, so and hopefully your boys will be able to do the lion's share of that work. But what we're going to do is we're going to assign you an area right at the edge of the campsite for you to pre-stage your gear while all the paperwork is being finalized. Once that's done, we're going to direct your adults to take their cars and park them in their permanent locations, and then the boys are going to assemble by patrol for their uniform inspection. Your patrols should have their patrol flag and be prepared to demonstrate their patrol yell. We're going to have we're working on getting some military personnel to conduct these uniform inspections. So we want to make sure that your boys are as uniformed all the way up to Class A as is normal for your troop. So, for instance, I know like 611 doesn't use the Class A pants. That's fine. It's ultimately as uniformity is defined not by Trail Life USA, but it's defined at the troop level. So whatever you guys say is your most official formal uniform, that is what you should be wearing at check-in for the uniform inspection. So if your troop wears polos, then they should be in polos for the inspection. Be prepared to demonstrate your yell, and then at that point we will then dismiss. Your boys will then head over to the pre-stage area for all the gear, and at that point we can start shuttling stuff over to your campsites. We will have, I think, enough of an area set aside so that equipment won't blend over into multiple troops. I think we'll be fine on that point. Y'all should have Trail Life medical form, Trail Life consent form, and a forest home waiver for every youth and adult trailman upon arrival. And I can't stress this enough because we have had some packets that are incomplete. If you show up and you do not have these forms, it's going to be a long drive back to home base to get these things filled out. So this is kind of a no exceptions rule. We absolutely have to have all of the forms that were in the guidebook that we sent out has to be filled out for not only youth but adult. We will be giving you your medical forms, and you guys will be holding on to them. But you have to actually show proof that they're there. Otherwise you can't attend. if you could arrange your forms so that all three are arranged by participant upon check-in, that was a request from Jill Storm. That would be really, really helpful and allow us to be able to process the boys and get them out the door as quickly as possible. If we have to kind of filter through and go back and forth, it's gonna slow the process down. So each participant have your three forms ready in a packet, ready to go. This is the committee did allow for extra boys and adults that still want to be registered that missed the earlier cutoff. If you do have a boy that missed the cutoff or an adult that missed the cutoff that would still like to be registered, they can do it. Do it like tomorrow though, or it should have been done yesterday. So
Like yesterday.
So contact Mike. He's on the line. Mike can give out his contact information here if you guys don't have it. But contact Mike. Figure out what we can do to arrange payment, delivery of any of the paperwork. But if you have boys that want to go, we want them to go. We want them to have a good time. So get their names submitted as soon as possible.
Let me go ahead and put out my phone number right now.
Yeah.
Area code 805-290-3703. That's my cell phone. Don't worry about what time you call or anything. It'll work best no matter what.
2 in the morning is usually the best reception.
Hey, I spent most of a career on 24-hour calls, and so it's all right.
And then a couple more logistics. Please, we do have potable water in camp. However, it's a little bit of a hike to get there. So unless you want your boys hoofing it down for dishwashing water and cooking water at every single meal, best for you to bring some portable water containers for drinking in camp. And then I can't stress fire extinguishers enough as well. This is kind of also one of the no exceptions policy. You need to have 20 pounds per troop. Most likely that's going to mean at least 4 or 5 pound fire extinguishers, which are your basic kind of fire extinguisher. You need to show proof of that before entering camp. This is for fire protection. The Thomas fire was basically threatening this entire area during the entire fire, and they're all a little skittish when it comes to fire at this point. That's it. So that's it for logistics. Do we got any questions on logistics?
By the way, it will look pretty green, we hope, when you get there, but they still are very skittish. So,
and rightfully so. So questions on logistics in terms of what you need to bring or anything I covered? Oh, Mike, give me your telephone number one more time. I'm going to type it in the chat.
Sure. 805-290-3703.
3703. All right, there you go, Justin.
The one other logistics thing is I would suggest that if you have some extra heavy ground cloths or tarps to use under those tents, that you make them available. We've been blessed with the fact that the ground, somebody did do some preparation of the ground for a different reason. And most people, I think, will largely be camping on some mulch, not fine mulch. It's going to be pretty coarse mulch, but that's a whole lot better than the gopher holes that were there.
Yeah.
But I don't know if the gophers are still going to try to come up at some point. There's a few people that might be out in it might be in a grassy area that may still have gopher holes. It'd be good to make a decent barrier between them and the inside of your tent.
I wasn't planning on speaking about this, but just for everybody, we will have porta potties on site there, as well as showers down in the actual activity area for anybody that is wanting to actually clean up a little bit after a long, hard day. And then we are going to have a specific area for gray water dump for everybody's dishwater and whatnot. So, and we'll go ahead and identify that for everybody at the Friday night leader meeting after everybody is set up and ready to go. So. Okay, let me move on to program here. So each patrol should have 2 skits that they're prepared to present on Saturday morning to the first and second officer. Our first officer is Logan Pennington, and our second officer is Gregory Bear. They're going to be in charge of they have the entire they have authority over the entire program. We have a very short window for skits, preparation of these skits, and it's I believe from 8:15 to 8:45, which is right before competitive events. So we really need to have patrols with their skits prepared, ready to go, so that they can present, and then we can move on and get to the next group of kids. So it's going to go quick, and we want to make sure every patrol has an opportunity. If you have patrols that are considering not participating in the campfire, I would highly suggest that you dissuade them from that. Granted, it is a boy run program, but just give some helpful suggestions on how they can overcome their fear. But it's going to be a lot more fun if we have more boys participating. There's 13 skits, or excuse me, 13 patrols that are participating in the weekend. We very well may not be able to accommodate all both skits from each patrol, but we want to make sure that if a patrol from my troop comes in and decides to do the I'm wearing my brown pants skit that Steve's troop likes to do, that they can still participate with another one. So we do have some spots for the morning and evening flag ceremonies, as well as we're doing a flag retirement ceremony at the campfire. Patrols that are interested in serving at this event can volunteer with the patrol rally second officer, Gregory, and we will definitely be making sure that we're pointing him out to your first officers at the leader meeting on Friday. We are looking the flag ceremony that we use. We will retire a smaller flag, and we need a 5x7 American flag that will not be retired, and you'll get it back at the end of the evening. But if anybody has a larger 5-foot by 7-foot American flag that they could loan us for the weekend, it's kind of a necessary part for the ceremony that we're using. So if you can contact me directly, let me know if you have that. I would appreciate it.
We have one. Josh, we may have one, but I'll have to check up at church on Sunday. I'll get back to you when I can.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, basically what we do is we take the old flag and we fold it inside the larger flag. So unless we have the larger flag, it becomes this big bulky thing. It doesn't really fold well. So if you can give me the bigger one, that'd be great.
Okay.
All boys for this entire event, and this is Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, should be uniformed. We're requesting for inspection, flags, chapel service, as Class A, whatever you guys define as Class A's. If polos, that's fine. But even during the competitive event, you should be in Class B's. You should be uniform. You should look the same. So if your boys don't all have uniform shirts, get some white T-shirts for cheap at Walmart or something, and spray paint them with the patrol name on them. Do something so that they're uniform. I don't know if you guys looked at the way the competitive events work, but there's 100 points for each event, and the first 50 of them are all about patrol spirit and uniformity. You come up, you got your patrol flag. You come up, you give your patrol yell. You're uniform. You're in teamwork. You're completing the event. That's worth 50 points right there. So half your points are all about these team building elements. So you got to be uniformed. Your boys have to be uniformed throughout the entire event. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yeah.
All right. We do still need a troop to volunteer for the mystery event. And whoever volunteers, I'll explain to you guys what the mystery event is. It's pretty simple, but we just need somebody to take care of that. Also, we need troops to host the Red Rope Challenge, the campsite inspections, and the Mega Gateway. These last three are basically we need people to we need somebody on a troop who's going to be responsible for then spreading out through the rest of the campsite, finding other adults from other troops and saying, hey, help me do the red rope challenge. Hey, help me do the campsite inspections. Pretty much the only one that really requires any kind of technical know-how is the red rope challenge, because you have to be able to identify what the knots look like. We're probably they'll have a cheat sheet so you can actually see what we'll have like maybe flashcards or something for the knot challenged among the adults, so that you can easily identify, yep, that's a square knot, yep, that's a taut line hitch, or so on and so forth. So if your troops are available to serve there, please, it should be on the spreadsheet. Everybody should have access to the spreadsheet at this point. So toss your troop names in there so that we can get those events taken care of. I do need to know what troops are participating in the Red Rope Challenge and how many boys are in each troop. Steve, can I start with you? Is anyone from 611 doing this the Red Rope?
Yeah, I know right now Logan was just saying that the Adventure Patrol, the Wilderness Explorers, the whole patrol is going to try it out. So
okay.
I haven't heard from Aaron about the two navigator / mountain patrols. So.
Okay. If you can get me a list, so the boy that completes the Red Rope Challenge will actually get a device that he's going to be able to add to his uniform, and those devices aren't cheap, so we want to make sure that we're only ordering X amount. We don't want to order too many of them and have a gigantic stock full of them. So if you can get me a list of or a number of boys that you realistically think are going to be able to complete that challenge, and then we'll add like 10% or something on there. Patrick, maybe you could speak to that in terms of how many we're ordering.
No, that sounds good to me. Just to make sure that we have them in time, I may just have to guess and order like tomorrow, but
okay,
it would help to have some idea.
If you could, Steve and Justin, if you could get back to me with a number, just a best guess, so that we can get an order to Patrick, and then Mike, if you can contact Eric Robbins. I know Kyle Storm is super gung ho, but if you can find out from them what the realistic number is on who's going to actually complete that thing.
Okay.
And then I'll find out from all the other troops that aren't present.
Yeah, I can tell you that since we're still working on some of the fundamental skills, Troop 2 and 2 probably won't participate, but I'll double check with my first officer.
Okay. Yeah, just let me know. I mean, it could be this first event. This will be their impetus to actually learn it and see it and say, wow, that's amazing. They're tying 14 knots in 1 minute. So.
Right.
Justin, I'm going to make a suggestion to you. I'm going to think out on this. You really ought to get somebody, even if they can't do it, they need to participate. Anybody, because because they end up getting points for their troop just for the participation. It becomes a requirement to, like, if you do everything else great, but you don't participate there, then you don't get honor patrol.
Yeah. There's an honor troop award, and yeah, he's correct. You have to attempt to build a mega gateway, and you have to participate in the Red Rope Challenge. It doesn't say you have to complete the Red Rope Challenge, just participate. Even if you have a brave kid in there who's willing to step out in front of his peers and say, yeah, I'll try that. That's what we're looking for.
Okay.
And just so you know, last year when we did this, we had 5 or 6 people that tried. Exactly nobody passed it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. And what that result actually had were, at least I know from my son, who was one of the 5 or 6 that attempted it, it just drove him to say, oh, I'm getting it this year, and it made him actually learn the knots, and he spent the time actually practicing. So that's kind of what you want, anyways, is you want them motivated to try it again.
And I'm sensitive about that participation, because had anybody from the the troop that I work with, had anybody participated, we would have won the honor troop. But because we didn't, even though we had done so well on the other things, it didn't happen.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. I think that's it. So that's all I have in terms of the points that I want to cover with anybody. So let's open it up to questions at this point. I know Steve, you sent me an email. Why don't you go ahead and ask the question, and let's go ahead and get it answered.
Yeah, I was wondering about Dutch oven cooking. I remember last year we had an area, a barbecue area near our camping area last year that we were able to use for that. But since we're camping in a different spot, will that be a problem if it's like contained or on a sheet, or will there be some place where we can do that like there was last year?
So that's going to be a little bit. Let me pull up the guidebook here so I can show you the map. It's going to be a little tricky from where we're at because we are actually not camping anywhere near where we were at before.
Yeah.
So let me unpause this. Can everybody see the map here?
Yes, but not the top part. There we go. Going up.
So we were camping down here in 12, and that's where we were at last year. And then the barbecue area was basically on the north side of this little stream right here.
Yeah.
The campsite where we're at now is up here in 20. So Mike, unless we can send them down to the fire pit, were you thinking Saturday night, Steve?
Yeah, probably. Just to do like a Dutch oven dessert.
Yeah. What do you think out in the parking lot, Steve, or Mike?
Well, that particular parking lot is, there's actually what you're showing as a what they're showing as a parking lot is really more, let me see where we go right here. Yeah, it's possible. Yeah, we might be able to, I'll have to ask them if it's okay to do that just because of the fire thing.
Right.
If you were planning, Steve, on using charcoal briquettes.
Yeah. And I have a large metal
Like an oil
wash that I could bring to actually set the stuff in.
Yeah, like a small fire pit sort of thing.
Yeah, kind of, but it's not a fire pit. It's just an old wash basin that's metal that I could use for that. So I was just wondering if it's a problem. I won't plan for that, but
it'll be just a little bit. It'll be just a little bit away from where camping. When I say a little bit away, there'll be basically a line of trees in that green area in 20. There's a line of trees kind of there at the edge of the parking lot, and then the camping's on the other side. So
gotcha.
it won't be. It's not remote by any means at all, and there's water close by there to put out any kind of fire. I'll talk to them about that. I don't think that will be an issue, other than it'll be just a little lonely for whoever's ever tending that.
Okay.
It probably won't be any further of a walk than you took last time because you were on the north side of Area 12. So you had to walk the furthest away. So I think you should be fine.
Okay.
So Mike and I are going to try to head up there tomorrow as well. So we'll take a look at it, verify the distances and everything, and see if it's feasible, and then we'll let you know. In fact, we'll let the
All right, that'd be great.
We'll let the whole group know in case anybody else wants to Dutch oven.
All right.
All right. What else? Any other questions? Patrick, you have anything to add?
Nope.
Okay. Well, that was a little easier than I thought it'd be.
I'm sorry you didn't put people on.
I was going to have hordes of questions thrown at me, but that's cool. That works. When you guys do arrive, we will have you coming up to where it says the troop parking. That's where your pre-stage and your check-in area is going to be. Most likely, we are going to be sharing this campground with another group. I believe it's a men's group or some sort of group that's going to be there. Mike, what was the group that's going to be there?
I think it's co-ed, but it's adults. There are no kids, and it's about 70 adults.
Okay, so they're most likely we don't anticipate any real contact between the groups. We will be putting wristbands on everybody from our group so that we can easily identify anybody, parents or whatnot. We know exactly who's talking to who. But because we have a shared group and we're sharing the campground, we will probably be sending most of the parking for the individual troops. Will actually go down to where it says troop overflow parking. Because most of the group that's going to be there are going to be in the building just north of 19, which is where they'll probably be doing most of their work. So that's probably where they're going to be parking. So
they're actually trying to reserve as much of the upper parking lot as they can there for handicapped and that kind of stuff. So
right. Okay. I think that's pretty much it. I am looking for an incredibly loud Bluetooth speaker, if anybody has one that we could use for bugle calls. We will be having bugle calls throughout the day. We'll be using the bugle as a kind of timekeeper. So if anybody's got a decent Bluetooth speaker that I could use with my iPhone and blast everyone so that they know when we're changing events, that would be helpful to me.
I don't know that you're ever going to find a Bluetooth speaker that loud.
Well, we might very
You
well
know what?
have multiple buglers.
I do have one that's really loud, and it's Bluetooth, and it also has a hardwire.
Okay.
And the charge, it lasts a pretty long time. So if you're just using it for bugling a few times or even 10 or 20 times, I've used it to play music, and it's pretty loud.
Okay.
A large size.
Dustin, that's great. We actually will need on Sunday, if we could, for music. There is power.
Okay.
Sunday service is going to be there. It's labeled 17. There is power there, and Bob says he's bringing the generator as well if we need to. So I don't think the power will be.
Okay, I would just need power to charge it. If that, it holds a charge for a pretty long time. It's called a block rocker ion speaker. It's about the size of a carry-on case, so
Oh wow.
it'll be nice. It'll be nice and loud.
That would be great. Thank you. I can leave my smaller bows here at home.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. Looking forward to getting with you guys and seeing the kids having a blast. We had 4 troops last year at this event, and it was an absolute joy. I walked out of that campground at the end of the day on Sunday with a big smile on my face. I'm expecting the exact same treatment. So just keep praying for it, praying for the leaders, and we'll see you guys in a week.
Okay.
Joshua, just one quick question.
Yeah.
Just before I forget about the T-shirts, the Class Bs.
Yeah.
Is it sufficient to have like the Trail Life Class Bs, like the blue ones for the adventurers, and I think it's the gray for the navigators, or do you want them to have the actual patrol name on that as well?
No, that's fine. If you guys are you have a mixed patrol with navigators and adventurers, and one of them has, half of them have the grays and half has the blues. No, that would be fine. Yeah, because at that point,
okay,
they are technically in uniform. So.
Okay.
Yep.
Great. Thank you.
Josh, can I volunteer to say a word and pray us out?
Yeah, please.
So, guys, last year when Josh and I left with these big smiles on our face, part of it was because we had really had to rely on the Lord a lot to make this happen. It's certainly, we did some, that's for sure, but it was really the Lord's work. We were terrified going into it. And because we knew how little we had done compared to a lot of other events that had gone on before, and we've done a lot more work this year on it. Been a little bit honored him in the way that we put some more work into it than we did before. But in some ways I feel kind of bad about that. It's really great to see the Lord work, and when the kids, the whole thing really is to make sure that, well, frankly, all of us men, young or old, get to see the Lord at work and sense His presence. So that's what I really ask for you to pray about. that at the end of this thing, that, you know, besides the fact that everybody has all their digits and all that kind of stuff left, that really he would be honored and glorified by what goes on there, and that he would be present. And so that's what I ask you to really spend the time praying about. Because good or bad, it won't, you know, I mean, it could be the smoothest running operation in the world and not glorify him, and it was a wasted weekend. So anyway, that's what I got to say about that. If you could pray with me here. Father, we thank you so much for all that you've given us, and for your constant reaching out to us, and for your constant invitation to us to rest in you. We ask, Father, that you would help us as adult men to find our place here next to you, and be able to demonstrate that for our youth. We ask that this weekend be especially be that way, that as things go well, that we can glorify you overtly, so the boys recognize your presence. And as things go bad, that we can fall on you and rely on you to keep safe, and perhaps to fix things, perhaps not, but but that we would be able to always rest in you during those times. Father, help everyone as they prepare for this, to do it with the joy of the Lord, and with the peace that you've promised us. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Okay, gentlemen, we will see you in 1 week. Everybody go.
All right. Thank you.
Break.
Break.
So, Josh, if you've got a particular time that you'd like, you'd like us to